feel bad for Dune. This movie is making me feel bad for Dune. For specific reasons, but also for the reason of, I think this I liked even better. Wow, this movie is so good. So we just saw The Fall Guy. This is my immediate reaction to getting out of the movie, so there will be no spoilers here. No, 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 no. I'm just going to talk about, in general, what it was like, what I liked about it, what I maybe wanted more of. I don't think there was anything I wanted more of. I think it was pretty dang perfect. I mean, I think we gotta start by talking about the stunts. Yeah? The stunts were phenomenal. I'm gonna put this on the level of Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, which, if you've seen my reviews for that movie, you will know that I really loved Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning because these stunts are completely like cuckoo bananas insane. This film is that. It is, they broke records. They broke a record for, or they broke a record at least, for rolling a vehicle. That is in here, and it is as crazy as you think. And the wild thing to me is that it actually gets bigger. I would say my favorite sequence is actually near the end of the film. It involves a helicopter. So when you watch that, wow, the lighting's great over here. Look at it. So when you watch that, it's so good. The helicopter bit is fantastic, and it's just got this really fun flow to it. I think the thing that I really liked about a lot of these sequences is that there's so many fun moving pieces that they really use and integrate. They really use the settings in the sequences and also all of the props that are part of it. It's really like a sequence where people have a very clear motivation, is what I want to say, and it really drives the action forward in such a fun and in sometimes, many times, a very unique way. So I think the other thing that's interesting about this film, this is something I've been saying for a few years now, and I just feel like this film really hammers it home, and I hope that people take notice. So stunts are obviously amazing. I am a big lover of action films. I love stunts. I actually was stunt certified for a little while. My certification has expired and I didn't keep up with it, so not technically stunt certified now, although I do have stunt experience a little bit. I'm obviously an actor. I'm not a stunt person per se, but I did do a little bit of stunt. I've done a little bit of stunt work and done a little bit of stunt training. And gosh, doing stunts is so fun because really when I think about what I love about film is so much about the action and the reaction. A lot of the times we get obsessed with this idea of two people in a room having a scene talking about something, which can still be very fun, don't get me wrong. But there is so much more that I feel like you can do in a film with just a frame where no one's even saying anything. Action says so much more. It actually can say so much more than words. In fact, some of my favorite films are the ones where the things that aren't said are more important than what is said, if that makes sense. So for me, stunts have always been this big thing that I really love in movies. And for the last few years, I've been saying, I think it's insane that at the Oscars, we don't have a stunts category. Like, it's just, especially with the level of films we've been putting out, but even way before that, even back in the Steve McQueen days, there's so much good action that we had that we just didn't acknowledge. And this film calls it out. And so if the Academy does not take note, I don't think anything will make them ever take note of it. I hope that this film does get people talking about it because stunt people deserve a category. But this film is so much more than the stunts. It's not just a bunch of stunts strung together that are amazing to watch, but also if you love stunts, you're gonna love it. It is a movie that has so many amazing levels to it. It's so smartly written. There are so many things in the story that are little seeds that are planted that you get to watch bloom throughout the film. There is emotion. I think for me, the reason why I want to put it so high up right now, at least, just coming out of the theater, on my list of films for the year, is because it was really a film that made me feel a lot of things. It made me laugh out loud. It made me nervous. It made me anxious. It made me long to see people happy. It made me cry. It just, to me, that's what a film is. Something that can allow you to have a very human experience while also kind of escaping reality. It is both allowing you to be grounded and allowing you to also be outside of reality. And this film does that beautifully. Also, I think it just specifically for me was really amazing because it is a film that's kind of about the behind the scenes of filmmaking, and as someone who has been on sets and experienced some of that personally, it felt very real. Like, a lot of the things that they have in here, I'm like, that is what happens on a set, and it just felt, yeah, really fun. And also so many movie references. Oh my gosh. I could do a whole video on just all the movie references in this movie. And as a movie lover, I love to see it. I think it's also really interesting that this is a film that was directed by David Leitch, who, if you do not know, is also the director of Deadpool 2. And if you did not know, there was also a stunt, I believe it was a motorcycle stunt, where they actually had a stunt person that died on set. And while people talk about this kind of stuff as though it is super rare, the reality is I don't think it's actually that. We think of it as being super rare, but there's so many sets where people have lost their lives working on a film, stunt people especially, that people just don't talk about. But so it really felt very meaningful that this was a movie about the importance of stunt people and just all of the amazing things that they do. At the end of the day, although we talk about how important a director is, which yes, they are. We would not have films without directors. And this film speaks to that in a really beautiful way, I think. And in a really personal way with the characters. Without stunt people, we also wouldn't have movies. Every person on a set is so important. Like, a movie is really this beautiful collaboration of so many people working together and coming together to build something. And whether or not it works, so many people put in so much hard work. And this is a film that most definitely works. Also, I'm gonna need to listen to the soundtrack like a million times because the soundtrack is so good for this film. My word. And some of the music in this is very funny. I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm not going to. But it has to do with the film that they're making in the film. I think the other thing that I've really loved about it is the acting. And I know I always talk about the acting, but what can I say? I'm an actor. So we're gonna talk about the acting again. This was a movie to me that made me go like, gosh, dang it, Ryan Gosling is just such a great actor. And I actually felt kind of sad a little bit because I feel like earlier in his career, although he is obviously a very handsome man, I just feel like he kind of got pigeonholed in this role of being that. And not to say that there isn't a ton of depth that you can explore in romantic stories. This is also a romantic story, and there is a ton of depth in it as well. And I mean, I really love Blue Valentine that he was in, which is a tragic movie, but very, very good in that as well. But I just think he's got such a subtlety to him in the way that his performances, like the way he looks at people, it just feels so real. He and Emily Blunt have amazing chemistry on this set, and I love Emily Blunt. She's just so good in everything she's in. Once again, she was amazing in this. I think maybe my only complaint is that I need more Emily Blunt in this movie, even though she's in a lot of it, but I don't know if it was enough because I love her so much. And she's just great in everything that she does, and she has such a range to her. She could do anything. I could sit, there's a point in this movie where within the film, they have prosthetics for some of the characters in their inner film. And at one point, she's wearing this glove that is a prosthetic, that's like a costume piece. I guess I shouldn't say prosthetic. It's like a costume piece that the characters in the movies have that are aliens. So she's wearing this alien arm over her arm, and she's just having this conversation on the phone. And she's just idly using the long nail of the alien hand to like scratch her eyebrow, and it was such a subtle thing, but it just felt so real and so goofy. And I love when we can have performers that have presence both in a zoom out and a zoom in, and both of these actors are that. And let's also not forget all of the stunt performers that are in this that were selling us on everything, because the other thing I'm going to say is that stunt performers are actors too, and I feel like it's weird that we have a divide, because when you are doing a stunt, you are telling a story, and if you are not telling a story, that is not a good stunt sequence, that is not a good stunt, or it's not a good fight, you know? Like, that's what I love when I watch action movies. I love seeing the story of the action. Do you want to add anything?
Everyone's represented in this movie. Stunt men, stunt women, stunt animals, the entire...
Stunt animals.
Spectrum of stunting.
Yeah,
Here.
pyrotechnics.
Pyrotechnics.
Yeah, everyone.
Stunt drivers.
Stunt drivers.
Boat drivers. Car drivers, motorcycles, everything.
So if you like stunts, you will not be wanting. Is that what you're saying, Doug?
Yes.
Yeah. I think overall, I have to give it a 5 out of 5? Is that too high? I don't think so. I say 5 out of 5.
I'm giving it a 5.
Yeah, 5?
I loved it. As a filmmaker,
5 falls out of 5 falls?
Yep.
Also, the title for it is so perfect in so many ways.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Works on many levels.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a filmmaker by trade, I love this movie on so many levels, and all the stories that it tells for both behind and in front of the camera, it really does capture you, especially if you've been in the industry on any level.
Yeah.
You'll notice the amount of work and stuff that they put into
It's so
highlighting
beautiful.
Everything that everyone does on a set. It's beautiful.
You're gonna make me cry. You made me cry thinking about it. Guys, it's just so good. You should go see it. Please go support it. It's also its own story. It's an original story. It's not part of an IP. And I think that is wonderful. What a beautiful time. So many good movies. So 5 out of 5. There was something else that I wanted to say. That's why I'm stalling, but I don't remember what it is.
I gotta edit this, so stall as long as you want.
I was gonna say, oh, you know what? It was like Oppenheimer. It made me want to make a movie. I want to be a director. I want to be a Jodie. That's it. What more can you ask for when a film makes you want to make films? Well, that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching this review. And go see movies and support them at the theaters if you can. And until next time, friends, stay nerdy. Also, see this in the biggest theater you can. Big screens, big sound. Bye.